And finally tonight here, Made in America. The pens made right here outside Las Vegas, and I finally have one. I can tell you, they're out of this world.
Liftoff. We have liftoff.
October 10th, 1968.
Apollo 7 off to a good start.
Apollo 7 taking flight. On board 3 American astronauts and 1 brand new American invention. Right there in astronaut Walt Cunningham's hands, a Fisher space pen. And 1 year later,
it's one small step for man.
As man stepped on the moon, they used a Fisher space pen to document the discovery. All right, you have to come to Nevada to see the famous Fisher space pen.
That's right.
So you brought one.
We did.
What do you got?
This is the original astronaut space pen, used on all manned space flights. Even has little inscription
Look at that!
on
Look
it.
at that! My own Fisher space pen.
Right.
My name right there on it. And 50 years later, a sense of pride tonight. So this went up with Apollo 7.
Yes. This marks 50 years in space for us.
It was Carrie's dad, Paul Fisher, who invented the pen in 1966. He was already in the ballpoint pen business, but was convinced he could do better.
Original pens were just lousy. They oozed out the front, dried up. You could transfer a signature 2 weeks later with your thumbprint. So they were just awful.
I mean, you can still do that today with pens.
Right.
They're still kind of a mess. Not
yeah.
yours, though.
That's right.
Paul Fisher invented his patented pressurized ink cartridge using nitrogen, sealing the ink. It doesn't rely on gravity to bring the ink down to write.
They tested it to 50 below zero, 400 degrees above.
So it worked just fine in this Nevada heat at 109 today.
Absolutely.
You can see right here, Boulder City, Nevada, USA. 30 miles outside Las Vegas, 65 workers making up to 30,000 pens a day.
Family and friends love space pens. It's shocking to everyone to know that little old Boulder City has a great American-made company here.
First, the stainless steel cut into these pen tips. Each batch checked under a microscope before being cleaned and sent here, where they're attached to Fisher's patented pressurized ink cartridge. Then over to assembly, each one by hand. Tara Woolman on the line for 21 years.
We're just like a family here.
Proudly holding up one of her newly completed pens, then picked up by Oswaldo for packaging, a new hire. And it turns out all those years ago, they had donated a few hundred pens to the Russians for the cosmonauts, a goodwill gesture. The Russians still use the pen, so they're paying for it now, though, right?
Yes.
I'm looking out for Made in America. I want to make sure you're making money off these things.
Oh, yeah, we're trying.
A 50-year-old Made in America idea, still selling more than 1 million pens around the world every year. 1966, and it's still blowing my mind. All these years later.
Made in America! Whoa!
50 years, and we wish for 50 more. I'm David Muir. I hope to see you right back here tomorrow night. Until then, good night.